Assalamu alaikum, doctor. We are from group Bits and Bytes, and I am Abdullah Nafis. My metric number is 820EC4060.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Labib Hassan. My matric number is 820EC4079.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Maria Taskinamani. My matric number is 820EC3021.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Akem Shafin Alam. My matric number is A20EC4061.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Abdullah Al Khalid. My matric number is A21EC4025.
So now we are going to share our group project. So, Maria, can you please start?
Okay. Thank you, Nafis. So, Doctor, first we are starting with the linked list that we have included in our project. At first, we can see that we have declared there are many variables like title, author, ISBN, and price. And at the last line, we can see that the book refers to the next node or the next data. And then scrolling down, we can see that under the book, we have 4 set method functions, and which also refers to the next one. And it also have, these are the functions. And then moving on to the next class, which is bookshop. The bookshop the bookshop actually holds the data. Here we can see that there is a under the bookshop there is a different function. First function is insert book, which has many parameters like title, author, ISBN, price, and which again refers to the next node, that means the new book. And scrolling down, we have find book, which has the function of finding the book the user wants to find. So here at first the book refers to the new book refers to the head, and there is a condition. If the new book is not equals to null, and the new book title is not equals to X that we have declared before, then the new book will refer to the next new book. And if it's the condition applies, then we'll find a book that we desire. Yes. This is the condition. And then under find book for stack, it's kind of seen as find book, but here we find the book. Here we see if the new book is from the book we wanted to find before. So if the new book is null and the new book title not equals to X, then the new book will refer to the next new book. Yes, as we can see, there's if-else function. Yeah, moving on to the next one, the delete book. Here, the delete book has the function of deleting the book from the system. So if it refers to the current book refers to the head, and if the current is not equals to null and the current title is equals to the title that we have declared before, then the head will refer to the current next. And if the book if the previous book is equals to null, so in the next one, we can see that under while, if the current is not equals to null and the current title is not equals to title, then the previous will be the current one, and the current will refer to the current next. But if the current we have found is null, then it will give you the book that that we can't find. It will give you with a not found message. And if the previous next is equals to the current next, then it will delete the book from delete the current book from the system, and will give an output of this book has been removed from the bookshop. And the last one is the display books. It basically display all the records of all the books that exist in the system. So here the book current book will be referred to the head, and here is a little alignment that we have set here for the display of books. Here the condition is if the current book is not equals to null, then then the current book will refer to the current next, and we'll get our result, and the whole book list will be displayed on the screen. So that's for the linked list. I'll request my next team member to continue with it.
Thank you, Maria. And Shafin, can you please?
So now I'm going to explain the next class, the class customer node. So first we have variables: string variable name, string variable address, and string variable phone number. And then we have declared two pointers, pointer right and pointer left, that will pointer right to and left. And then we have create a constructor. You guys can hear me clearly, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sorry.
You can go on.
So then we have declared. Can you just go up? Nice. Yeah, and then we have declared constructor. Here we have declared all the other stuff, and then we have class customer tree. Here we have declared pointer, private pointer, which point to customer node, and the pointer name is root. And then we have added a function that is add customer helper. Here we have declared a pointer. Then we have also declared name, string, address, and phone number. Then in the function, we can see that in the first, we have to, the function will check that the current name is greater than name, the name we have inserted. If the current name is greater than name, then we will check another function, I mean another law. So it
Condition.
will check that condition, sorry, another condition that the current left is, if the current next is null, current left is null. If it is null, then the current left will be the new name, address, and phone number of the customer node. Or else it will go to the add customer helper function, and it will again check with the previous one and with the current left, and it will insert the name, address, and phone number. And then we have another condition that if the name we have inserted is greater than the current name, then the condition inside that condition is will be the current right. If the current right is null, then the current right will be the new customer node details, that name, address, and phone number. Or else it will go to the add customer help, and there it will check with the name. There will be the name and the current rate, and it will insert the name, address, and phone number. And then we have customer node remove customer. Here we will remove the customer name. So first we have parameter of name and customer node pointer, and then in the condition it will check if the node is null. If the node is null, then it will return null, or else it will check that the name is less than the node name. If the name is less than the node name, so it will remove the customer from the left node and the name and return the node. Else, if the name we have inserted is greater than the node name, then it will remove the right node of the right one, and remove the customer name and return the right node. And then we have else function. So here another condition is if the node left is equals to null and also node right is equals to null, then it will delete that node and return null. Uh, Else if the current left is equal to null, then the current node temp, I mean the pointer, it will point to the node right. I mean the node right will be the temporary pointer, and it will delete that node and it will return the temporary number node. Then if the current right, sorry, the node right is null, then again we have declared a pointer, and the pointer will point to the node left, and the node left will be a temporary pointer, temporary node, and it will delete that, and it will return also the temporary node. And else we have a pointer of temporary, it will point to the right. If the right pointer is not equals to sorry, if the left temporary left is not equals to null, then the temporary left will be called as temporary left, and then the name, address, and phone number of the uh, node will be transferred to the temporary node, and the name, address, and number will be the temporary node's number, address, and phone number. And again, the if the node right, in the node right, the remove customer, it will go to the remove customer function, and here it will be the same, that the right node's details will be transferred to the temporary node, and it will return the node. Then we have void print customer helper that will print all the details of the pointer. So here, if the condition is the current is null, then it will return, or else it will go to the print customer helper function, and it will print the current left. I mean the left pointer details. And here we have the function for the output, and then it will again go to the right. Again go to the print customer helper, and it will print the right current node details. And then we have customer tree. So here we have first declared our constructor. Here the root is equals to null, and then we have function add customer. Here it will add customer to the tree. So here we have details, a name, address, and phone number. And if the node is null, then root is null, then the details will be added in the node, sorry, root, in the root, and or else it will go to the add customer helper function back, and it will add the details. And then we have void remove customer. Here we will remove the customer name from the tree. So here we have root is equals to remove customer name root. It will remove the details of the root from the root, and then we have a void print customer, and that will print all the details of the tree, and it will print the tree. So that is my part, and I will call my next partner to describe his part. Thank you.
Thank you, Shafin.
Uh,
Lapi, can you please share your part?
So I'm going to explain the class stack card. So as you can see in the private class, there is already a book which is added in the top, and then there's a void class stack, which top class is null, which is empty. Uh, void add book, we will refer to a book which we want to add. Then it will create a temporary function, and it will add in this, then it will add uh, as you can see, there's a book new node, and the new node refers to the new book which is added. And if we don't add the new node, then it will call null and cannot allocate memory. And if it is added, then this function will pop up. uh, so if the book is not found, uh, acha. So if if the book is not available, then it will show the book not found in the stock. And then if you want to remove book from the cart, we can from if book delete node, if it is empty, then if it is empty, then it will call that cannot remove any book from the cart. If if you want to remove the book, then it will remove from the top and it will pop up like this. The item to be popped in the cart is being removed. Uh, so this it then the top in the top the node will delete and refer to the next one. And book tag top, if it is it will check whether it is empty or not. If it is empty, then the card will show it is still empty, and it will return to the top. And yeah, return to the top, and then the book empty, book is empty, book is empty. Return it will also return in the top, and this is it. If the card is empty, it will pop up like this. So I would like to refer to Rafi to continue his part.
Thanks a lot, Lavip. Hello, I'm Abdullah Khalid. Now I will explain the class node. We can see that there is 4 variables, three of type string and 1 of type double. And we can see the pointer of the next member in the node class. And then we can see the initialization of the node class with all the variables and the pointer next. I would like to go to the next class, and which is class out of stock queue. We can see that we have 2 instances of node. One is front, the front part of the queue, and one is rear, that refers to the rear part of the last part of the queue. We can see the initialization of out of stock queue, front equals to rear equals to now pointer. Now we see that we have a function named enqueue, which actually adds a member of the queue at the last of at the rear. And we can see a variable book variable, which is book, and a new node gets added, which is a variable title, variable author, ISBN, and price. So if as the enqueue adds the member in the last of the queue, we refer to the next pointer as null. And when the queue is empty, if we see the queue is empty, and if we add the new member in the queue, the front equals to rear equals to the new node. And the rear part of the queue gets added as a new one, and as it's the only member in the queue, the rear part is refers at new node. And then we can see that there is a function named dq. Dq actually removes the first member of the queue. And if the queue is empty, we show the message that queue is empty and return null. And if the queue is not empty, we get a variable of no. And if the queue has only we check if the queue has only one member, which means front equals to rear, we get the member and store it at data, and then we free the front of the queue. And to reassure, we make front equals to rear equals to null. If we see that there is more than one member in the queue, we store it as we still store the front of the queue in the temporary variable. Then we take it and store it in the data. Then we clear the front and move to the next member of the queue. That's how we empty the whole queue. Now we can see another function here named as show front. Show front actually checks if the queue is empty. If the queue is empty, it shows the message that queue is empty. And if it's not, it actually shows the front of the whole queue and moves to the next member. Bool is empty is to check if the queue is empty, and it checks the front and the rear of the queue if it's null, if it gets null, and it provides that the queue is empty. Now we move to the next last function of the class, which is display out of stock. In here, we actually check if the queue is empty. If the queue is not empty, then the front equals to the current current book, and we show the information of the current book, then move to the next member. If the current is null, we check the last, show the last member of the queue. And if the queue is empty, we show that there is no book in the stock. Thanks a lot. That's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Rafi. So now I'll explain our main function. So here we have just include the link.cpp, this file, and next we have include this dictionary for our function. And next we have declared some function, step desk, customer desk, step control panel, and customer control panel. And next we have also declared bookshop stack, bookshop directory, and out. These are for as global variable. So next it is the main function. At first we have some declare some variable, so as I is equal to 0, and the string, which is name, author, ISBN, CNAME, address, phone, and yeah, that's like it. Next we'll we'll open the book file, book.txt. This file will open, and this file will open, and then it will read all the information from this file. So here, file one name, file one author, ISBN, and price, everything will be read, and then it will insert in the bookshop class, which is the linked list of our project. So here we are inserting name, author, ISBN, price, everything in our linked list. And next we'll open the customer class. So sorry, customer.txt file, and it will read all of this information. And here it will read CNAME, address, phone number, and it will add in the bookshop directory. So it will add all the things in the bookshop directory. Next, we will create a stack.create stack. So we are creating a stack, which means we are informing the top is equal to null. We are just creating a stack. And next, we'll do this. At first, the staff, customer, and exit. And then we'll enter the choice which function the user wants to, 1, 2, or 3. And then based on his, if the user choose step, then it will go to the step desk. If customer, then customer desk, or else it will exit the function. And if choose another thing, then I mean, instead of 1, 2, and 3, then it will show invalid choice, and then the function will finish. Now I will show the step desk and customer desk. So in the step desk, we have some variables, and at first we'll just make a loop so that it will loop until the finish. So next we are declaring the step control panel, which is this control panel we are declaring. So user can see this control panel, and he will insert his choice which he wants to do. Next, if choice 1, that means add a new book. So the user have to put all the details of the new book. So, and the new book will be inserted in the bookshop. And the next, it is the re-adding the out of stock queue. So here the function is, if a book is bought by a customer, then that book will be out of stock. So if there is any out of stock queue book, so this function will do, it will re-add in the bookshop that book. So at first we will check if it is empty or not. If it is empty, that means there is no out of stock books. Or if it is empty, then it will, if it is not empty, then it will out.show front. So it will show the front book of the out of stock. So again, it will show if it is, we are wanting to re-adding this book in the stock. If then we'll, if the users wants to re-add, then it will, we are adding a new book. We are adding the out of stock book in the bookshop like this. So we are creating a new node, and it will point to the out.dequeue. So after dequeuing, after dequeuing a book, the book will be here in the node. And by doing this insert book, we are adding these books title, author, ISBN, and price in the bookshop. So we are adding the book in the bookshop. Next, we have display out of stock book. So in number 3, there is function of displaying all the books that is out of stock. So here, out.display out of stock, it will show all the book that is out of stock. So into next, removing a book. So into the book name you want to remove. So after removing a book, it will enqueue. I mean, since a book is removing from bookshop, so it will go to the out of stock book. So it will enqueue in the out of stock book, and it will also delete from the bookshop. So delete book name. Next, number 5, the customer information. It will print all the customer information here, bookshop directory print customer. Next, in number 6, it will add a new customer. So how to add a new customer? Just it takes all the customer name, address, and number, and it will add in the bookshop directory add customer. So it will add a new customer. And next, if we want to remove a customer, we are just taking his name, and then it will remove from the customer name. We'll pass the customer name in the remove customer function. Next, if we want to search a book, just write the name of the book, and then we have a function called bookshop.findBook. So we'll pass the name to the find book function, and we'll get the book information. Next, it is the full report. So at first, it's just writing full report, and then it will display all the books. It will display all the out of stock books, and also it will display all the customer informations. So that's all job for step. Next, we'll move to customer desk. So customer desk, we have this customer control panel. So customer can add book, remove book, view book, and view all book, and buy book. So here is a thing. If a customer wants to buy a book, then he must have to add the book in his cart so that he can buy book from the cart. If he doesn't add any book in the cart, then the customer cannot buy a book. So here the function at first to add cart, I mean adding book in the cart. So just write the name of the book, and then it will add the book. I like find book for stack. So it will find the book name. I mean the find the book details, and it will point to the the BO. This variable will point to the book that is we have found, and it will add to the stack. Next, in the number 2. Will remove a book from cart. Just we are taking a book, and it will stack dot remove book. It will remove the book from stack. And then case 3, we'll check for case 3. We have view all. It is view current book on cart. We will view the current book that is in cart. So if current stack is not empty, so if it is empty, then there is no book in the cart. And if it is not empty, then it will show that stack top stack top title, stack top author, stack top ISBN, and price. It will show the top books, everything details. Next, it will display all the books in the bookshop, and next it will display in number 5 we have buy book. So in buy book option, we will display all the books, and then we'll display the current book on the cart. So if cart is empty, it will show that it is empty, so you cannot buy. And if it is not empty, then it will show the current book on the cart, and it will ask the user if he wants to buy the book. He wants to buy the book. Do you want to proceed with the payment? If it is yes, then the stack top will be this book will be bought by the customer, and it will also add into the out of stock book since it is already bought. So there is no book. This book is not in the bookshop anymore, so it will add to the out of stock queue, and it will remove from the stack, and it will also remove from the bookshop. Next, at last we have exit function, so it will just exit. So that's all our project. So now I will run our part. So here is our project. At first, customer. So customer wanting to, at first customer will view all the books. So he is wanting to buy a book named Relief. So at first he needs to add book to the cart. So cart, and just name the book Relief. So here the Relief book has been added to the cart. So view book on the cart. Yes, the book is Relief. And next we'll buy the book. So to buy the book, we have to write down the title again. Since this book is on cart, so we can only buy this book. So we are writing this book name, and now it is the system will ask if we are wanting to proceed with the payment. Yes, then yes, it is the book is bought by the customer. So we are not wanting to anything, and we are exit from here. Now we are going to step control panel. So in step control panel, if we are wanting to add a new book, we can add. re-add the out of stock book, view the out of stock books. I'm just viewing the out of stock books since the customer has bought that book, so it is out of stock now. And next, we can view all the customer information here. We can add or delete customers. So just to show, now we are adding a new book, just book name. I'm giving anything and the author name and ISBN anything and the price. So if we generate report, then we can see all the informations, customer information, out of stock book, and the stock details. So the JJ, since I am added this book, it is also added in our stock. So that's all for our group presentation, our group project. So thank you, Doctor. That's our project for this data structure and algorithm. Thank you, Doctor. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Doctor.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Doctor.